Hey everyone, happy Father's Day and welcome to the last live stream recording of Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze in our 3-week live streaming series here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch with audio available wherever you get your podcasts. This is the last live streaming recording of this series, but it's not the last one forever. We must discuss Summer House Season 8. It's over. But I think they're filming Season 9 right now, right? They should be. To me, summer starts Memorial Day weekend and goes until Labor Day weekend. And actually, the Hamptons and Montauk is way better after Labor Day. The water is warmer because of the summer. And also, there's just less people. I don't like crowds. I don't. But whatever. Tonight, we're going to go through the reunion, part 2, uncensored and extended version on Peacock that was released on Friday after the censored and circumcised version aired on Thursday. If you are listening to the audio only of this podcast, please keep in mind you can always come check out the visuals over here on YouTube. We also have an interactive live chat. Don't be shy. I will read through the chat as we go along and do my best to read as many comments as I can. Our YouTube channel is at Jenny Blaze. If you are watching us live on Twitter or Instagram, please consider joining us here on YouTube so you can be part of the chat as well. Just as a reminder, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We do not condone any bullying or hateful behavior. However, we are here to connect and discuss our opinions in a civil manner. We can disagree and still be kind. Make sure you push the like button and subscribe if you are here on YouTube. Podcast listeners, please follow, share, and leave a 5-star rating. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media at Bravo and Blaze. That is where we posted all the extra clips that were included in the uncensored and extended version. I know some of our international folks don't have access to those scenes, and it's critical for our discussion. So you're welcome. We also have bonus content for Bravo and Blaze for Patreon members and Instagram subscribers. So check out the links in the show notes to join now. Let's get into Summer House Season 8, the reunion part 2. The episode description is: the dramatic reunion concludes as Wes and Sierra consider their future. Amanda makes an emotional revelation about her health. Lindsay and Carl go head-to-head about the details of their breakup. I don't know. I was kind of bored with this episode, but as I walk through the uncensored and extended version, there's a lot, actually. We could talk about this all day, all night. Let's go to this first extended scene. Okay, so Kyle chimes in to comment on Sierra and West and their relationship. It's so annoying. You think when he starts talking, he's going to take West's side and like speak up for him, but surprisingly, he takes Sierra's side in this. And you could see Amanda, even in this picture right here, she looks so scared of what he's going to say. And it's really sad to see Amanda, as I like watch this for a second time, she's on eggshells when it comes to Kyle with his behavior and like what he's going to do or say. And she's just nervous. It must suck to live like that. I see Fuzzy Puff in here. West is a disappointment. My guess, he will be on the next season of House of Villains. You know what? I don't even know if he qualifies as a proper villain. I wouldn't put him in that category yet. If he comes back to Summer House for another season and then he does something real nasty, yeah, he definitely should go on there. I feel like the House of Villains is like the Traitors rejects. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that. But I think what I've come to the conclusion on is that I don't think I like Kyle after this season. And I don't know if I ever really liked him to begin with. I just know that I never really disliked him. I don't think. And when he was on The Traitors, season 1, I think it might all go back to The Traitors for now on, but when he was on season 1 of The Traitors, I was rooting for him because I liked the strategic and intelligent side of his brain that we got to see on The Traitors that we don't normally see on Summer House because he's usually just damaging his brain cells on Summer House with his binge drinking. Just saying. Cindy says, hate Kyle. Good. Hate brings people together. That's what we're here for. I'm just kidding. This is all for entertainment purposes only. This is like group therapy too. Kyle triggered me many times. And you would think that like Amanda's presence, because she's so like meek, that it wouldn't bother me, but she actually triggers me too. Like this look on her face right here. You can see how she's just like, what is he gonna say? I don't know. Fuzzy Puff said Kyle has become less likable over time. He's regressing the entire DJ thing. Oh, we're going to talk about the DJ thing. Not that there's anything wrong with DJs. It's a respectable job, but he's such a child. All right, let's move on to the next extended scene. By the way, there were 12 extended scenes. Why? I also have never looked into production. Like, I don't know who the producers are. Is it Alex Baskin and producer Jerry? Because they're all over the fucking place. Like, they're annoying me. If they are behind Summer House as well as Vanderpump Rules, that just gives me another thing to put on my list for reasons why I can't stand them. Which cut? This is from Tay the Savior. Which Kyle do you prefer? DJ Kyle, mullet Kyle, or no mullet Kyle? For me personally, Traitors Kyle is the one I prefer, which is no mullet Kyle. I guess, because that's like he was in business mode, definitely when he was on the Traitors. What else? By the way, thanks for joining. Everyone who's in the live chat. I don't usually go live this late, but I promised a live stream on Father's Day. So here we are, even though it's kind of late, but we're here. Okay. Next one. So the first one was that, let's see. The second extended scene is Andy says Amanda and Kyle had a good summer and winter last year and asks why Amanda seems sick of Kyle this summer. Amanda said it was because Kyle brought up their issues on camera the first weekend they were there. I have a couple points that I need to talk about for this scene. One, did they ever really have a good summer and winter? I don't recall ever seeing them as a couple and being like, God, I really wish I had a relationship like theirs. Like, never. And now I'm trying to think of some relationships that I do feel that way about. I feel that way about Danny and Nia, even though I know there's like, people are seeing their skeletons in their closet, but like, first impression, I think they're so adorable. I think they're the cutest couple ever. So cute. I never had that with Kyle and Amanda, even at their wedding. And I wasn't a hater like Hannah Berner, who's like, yeah, let's see how long this lasts, or 50% of marriages end in divorce while she's standing there. It was just like, oof. But yeah, Kyle and Amanda, oof. So Amanda in this clip is saying that she was sick of Kyle because he brought up their issues on camera the first weekend. I don't get that. Isn't that exactly what they're supposed to be doing? makes no sense. I also feel like, hasn't Amanda spoken out on this exact topic? I feel like she's said to many people before, like, we're supposed to share our real lives on camera. Did I just make that up? I feel like that is Amanda. That's her style. And I just want to say, confusion is a manipulation tactic. I can see you. Just saying. They're a rough patch. We hit a little bit of a rough patch. Okay. I'll never forget Amanda's face in the last scene on the finale of season 8 when all the girls gather around Lindsay to comfort her. And before Lindsay gets there, Amanda's talking to everyone and she starts to tear up. She's like, Carl must have been feeling really bad if he had to do this. That was his only option. And you can see her starting to cry. And in that moment, I think that is the moment that Amanda Batula realized that she could have and probably should have done exactly what Carl did and just ended it. She's like, oh my God, I could have done that this whole time. Yikes. It's so funny because they throw the most stones too, I feel like. Anyways, okay, the third scene. We have so many to go through. 3 of 12. So a viewer asks Kyle and Amanda why they can't move to Brooklyn. Amanda says she wants to go to Jersey because she wants support from her parents who already take care of their dogs when they go out of town. I have to say, this was so hilarious to me because this viewer is obviously thinking Amanda just wants to be out of the city. And that makes sense. If like Brooklyn is right there. If you want to get out of like that city living, yeah, Brooklyn's a good option. However, it's still not the suburbs. I've lived in Jersey and I can say for sure that there are like actual suburbs in Jersey, but it also depends on where you are. Like if you're in Hoboken, that's not really suburbs, but it's right across the river to get to New York City. You could take a ferry, get there real quick. You could see the whole skyline from Hoboken or Jersey City. So like I wouldn't consider those to be suburbs, but I don't know. This question was just so funny to me. The other thing about this scene is how much I would hate to be Amanda's parents. Having her and Kyle always dropping their dogs and kids off at my house. Fuck out of here with that. Move to Brooklyn. Boom. There you go. Problem solved for the parents. Oh, boy. Okay, next scene. The fourth uncensored and extended clip. Kyle says, Loverboy is such a stressful venture and he hasn't done anything for himself in 5 years. Amanda goes in to explain that she just meant she wanted to contribute to their family and future in a way that makes her feel good and have her own dream because Loverboy is his dream. And it's just hilarious to me that in the same reunion, we hear, oh, Kyle's taking DJ classes every Thursday. And now he's DJing, like actually booking gigs and stuff. So he actually might shut down Loverboy at some point. If he gets to the point where he's like James Kennedy, he'll be like, why aren't I just doing this? And maybe this is a good life lesson for all of us watching this. Let's see what happens with Kyle's DJ career. If it takes off and he quits Loverboy, maybe that's a sign for all of us to just go with what makes us happy. He's so crazy. And I do feel like, I hope I don't get any hate because I ride or die for Ariana Madix, but I do feel like Amanda has a little bit of that Ariana Madix syndrome pre-Scandival, where she has everything she needs to be successful and live her dream life if she just did it. I think Kyle and Tom, for Ariana, obviously, they're like I don't want to say they're getting in the way, but I feel like Amanda and pre-Scandival Ariana were hand in hand with their men. Like, let's do this. But it never really was a true partnership or is a true partnership because Kyle's really the one who's always calling the shots. And we've seen it this season where, like, Amanda doesn't even really know who she is. So I do see the difference between Ariana and Amanda, and this is pre-Scandival Ariana that I'm talking about. But Ariana always had a clearer vision of her dream pre-Scandival versus, like I said, Amanda seems like she has no clue who she is. And I shouldn't laugh. Like, I feel bad because that's the goal, I feel like, for everyone. For me as a parent, for my children, I just want them to find out what makes them happy, and let's figure out how to come up with a plan to execute that. That's it. And then all the other things like fall into place, I feel like. Like the money will come, the love will come, the friendships will come, and it'll be organic. I don't feel like that's happening for Amanda at all. So the next, oh wait, actually before I move on, Fuzzy Puff says, all he does is things for himself, completely self-centered. Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? I'd find it to be interesting. Let's say Kyle does have this booming DJ career in the future and he's in his zone. It's everything he's ever wanted. Is he going to be searching for Amanda to come join him and be like, all I need now is my woman by my side? Like, I don't see that happening. I feel like he's just gonna be caught up in the fun and be like, all these girls are trying to talk to me and request a song, and oh, they want free drinks or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just feels, I don't know. Is Kyle, are his true colors coming out? Is this the real Kyle that's coming out? Maybe that's what the midlife crisis is for men. They stop trying to pretend and just start acting as their dumbass selves. That's why they wind up getting divorced and whatever, start cheating. I don't know, blow their money, whatever they do. What's up, N-Dub? Fuzzy Puff. What is the over-under of Kyle cheating on her if he's spending every night at the clubs? Exactly. Exactly. It's always two dumb bitches. I'm just kidding. You're not a dumb bitch. Me, some would say that's true. Emily said, hi, lady. Oh my God, I was so frustrated with this second part. Kyle got away with it all again. It seems like there's always something that makes him slip out of trouble every season. It's his white man syndrome. He's got it good. He has honed it so well. It's almost a craft. Like, we've seen it on the Traders. The way he demands and almost commands everyone to listen to him, it comes from a place of privilege and entitlement, in my opinion. Just saying. Like, you don't, and it's sad because you don't see many women who have this going on. Maybe Lindsay a little bit, but like, if you were to strip away the genders and look at Kyle and Lindsay next to each other, I guarantee people wouldn't be hating on Lindsay as much. I ride or die for Lindsay, sorry. And Dub, agreed. Amanda doesn't seem like she's in the right relationship that will help her thrive. Absolutely. That's been Kyle. When he said he could see her nips, it was Stassi in the hot tub over again. Oh man, not the Steve Jobs turtleneck bathing suit. I love that moment. Oh, Emily, LOL. Wow, he sure did. He's got the goofy good guy shtick down pat. He does. He does. Lindsay, I'm glad we're all still mad about this reunion. I feel less crazy now. No, this season really kind of fucked me up. I am so scared of Carl Like, I'm realizing that people who are able to manipulate so effortlessly, that is fucking scary to me. It's like second nature. That's sad and sick and twisted and creepy. Oh. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Where are we? Oh, let's talk about Kyle's DJ career. So the next scene, extended, uncensored clip. Kyle apparently is the unofficial DJ in the house at Summer House. Nobody is able to touch the music unless Kyle approves. That is so controlling. I love my music, and back in the day, actually, in like high school at parties, I was often the one, we had CDs back then, okay? Thank God we were past the tape days where you could just skip and stuff, but like, I would never demand that or think that I have that. Like, I would never feel entitled to be like, I control the music up in here. That is so crazy to me. And when you look at Kyle on the show over the seasons, he always does act like he's in charge and like he's the number one guy in the group. He has number one guy in the group energy, but like it's false. It's all a ruse. Don't play into this, people. It's backed by nothing. He's the number one guy in the group because he's made himself, and anybody else can go in and do the same thing. You might have to butt heads with Kyle to become the alpha, but I'd like to see it. Come on, bring it. Let's see Kyle knock down a peg or two. I'm kind of sick of watching him get shit-faced and slurring his words all over the place and just shoving food in his face. Okay, I won't lie. It looks fun sometimes. But is he older than me? He's like my age. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know. It's crazy. And Paige and Sierra, they're like laughing about this, but they're like, yeah, we can't even connect to the Bluetooth. What? You aren't even allowed to, like, that's the kind of dictatorship that I run in my household with my children. Is he the parent of this house? It's wild. Yikes. Oh my gosh, so many comments in the chat. Okay, Lindsay said, I'm glad. Oh, I already read that one. Lindsay said, that man is not right, talking about Carl. I know, right? And Kyle looks so basic after the after the mullet was cut. Mediocre white male. Yeah, you know what? That's probably why he had the mullet. He's like, this makes me exotic. That's all he had. He's like typical basic white boy who needs some kind of spice and flavor, so he grew the mullet. Yikes. Emily says that's immediate ick right there. Like, give everyone a chance. Yes, Kyle at the stereo. Control freak. Lindsay W., who even puts up with that? I'm not asking a man's approval to play a song. And Jenny Mixtape Blaze, I might start releasing some. I do have like a Spotify playlist. I should put the link in the show notes. And remember when Kyle went toe-to-toe with Luke? Wait, which time? I was just talking about this with somebody about the time that Luke and Carl were fighting. I think Carl was drinking that time, and Luke wound up leaving. And I remember watching that and being like, they're both wild right now. But if anything, I kind of felt like Carl was more in the wrong than Luke. But Luke winds up coming back, apologizing to the entire house, crying. The apology is not reciprocated by Carl or anybody. They're just like, shame, Luke, shame. Meanwhile, Luke's like got his tail tucked between his legs. He's cleaning up everyone's dishes at the end of dinner, and they just let him. It was so pathetic. It was so embarrassing. I'm like, wow, they really fucked up Luke. They did. There's like a mob mentality in this summer house sometimes, and I don't like it. Like, even, we'll get to it. Let's move on to the next scene. We'll get there. And Deb said, Kyle went absolutely crazy too. And yes, Carl gaslights Luke when he's apologizing. Awful. Yeah, I felt bad for Luke, which is weird because I don't usually feel bad for men that look that pretty. Anyways, what else? Kyle, such a control freak. Oh, and we even go here in the next extended clip. Kyle brings in Jesse into this whole conversation about Carl and Lindsay's relationship. And he's like, Jesse, what were your thoughts on them fighting? And Jesse tells his story about this one night. And maybe it was like a big deal. I thought it was so funny when he's like, Lindsay cocked her fist back to punch me in the face. Andy and Lindsay were like laughing. They're like, obviously she was joking. And Kyle's like, it was not a joke. First of all, why does Kyle hate Lindsay so much? He is like obsessed with hating on her. It's weird. It is so weird. What else? I felt like this whole scene was a weak attempt by the men to try to make Lindsay look back or look bad. Sorry. Look bad. And it really didn't work on me. I'm like, I'm still on Lindsay's side. Like, and if she cocked her fists back like that, she probably had a reason. I said it. And let's not forget, I think people forget this. If you got Jesse Solomon, who's 6 foot freakishly 5, who cocks back his fists, that is totally different than Lindsay Hubbard, a female, cocking her fist back. I'm not saying it's okay for Lindsay to do that and like, whether she's pretending or not, like threatening any type of physical assault is obviously not great. But at the same time, it's almost like women in general in today's society, we almost have to get to that level because men, yeah, they might not be cocking back their fists, but they are still at a very high level of scary when they're just with their voice. Naturally, they have a deeper voice, and that's by design, by the big guy, because the men are there to protect the women and children. And so I'm okay with Lindsay doing that. I feel like she probably had a good reason. Don't activate her. I'm apologizing for her, I guess. I don't know. I'm a Lindsay Hubbard apologist. I can live with that. What else? And Jesse looks like a bull in a china shop sitting with all the ladies. It's so funny. He really does. He's so tall. I did not know he was 6'5". Didn't Lindsay out Kyle for cheating one season? She did. But I feel like the way she did it was, she said, someone came to me and told me this, and now I'm telling you on camera so you can handle it with Amanda. But also I think Danielle was kind of involved and she may have spilled the beans first. So it was like kind of messed up already in the way that the message was delivered. I'll have to go back and watch. Lindsay said, same. Carl's manipulation may have worked on the cast and Andy, but a lot of viewers are not fooled. You know what's weird about Carl's manipulation is like, I'm not sure if Carl even realizes. I don't know if he is aware of his manipulation. Or he's in a place right now, like maybe when he's in a better place, he can look back and be like, oh shit, yeah, I was deflecting or I was ignoring these things or whatever. I hope he can get to that place and look back because it was really gross. Very triggering. Very, very triggering. And Deb said, Carl seriously has done that to men and females, telling them verbatim, you were scary. Oh my gosh. The way that he talked about Lindsay, like, you spoke or you said really horrible things to me too. Anytime Lindsay would bring up something like, I locked myself in the bathroom, I locked myself in the guest room. You're a 6'5" man. Is he 6'5" also? I know he's freakishly tall as well, but come on. Was she yelling at you because you were gaslighting her? Like, I don't know what. It's just interesting to me that he only says these things when Lindsay brings it up. That bothers me. Tay said, I'm sorry, but Lindsay is just as guilty as Carl is. She is not a victim. She is not Ariana Maddox. She is just as scary as Carl. I know people think that. I don't think Lindsay's scary. Like, I feel like if she was activated and going off on me, I'd just be like, really? That's what you think right now? I mean, or I'd probably be like, you're right. I'm sorry, don't hate me because I like Lindsay Hubbard. And I think that's why Kyle has it out for her, because she's another alpha. If Lindsay was a man, I'm sure she'd be the number one guy in the group, and telling Kyle would have to ask permission to connect his phone to the Bluetooth. And Dub said victim mentality. Lindsay W. Oh, I feel like it was very intentional manipulation. You think he this is, I don't know. I feel like some people, they just don't even know how manipulative they are. And I don't know if Carl's one of those people or if he really was like, I know I don't want to marry her, but we're starting filming. We have all of these events planned. Maybe if I just am a shitty fiance, maybe she'll break up with me. I feel like he wanted her to break up with him so he wouldn't have to do it. And then it got too late. She's like, no, let's work on it. We're soulmates. And we made this promise to be together forever. And he's like, oh shit, now what? Like, production, help me. Which is weak. It's so fucking weak. Be a man. Just fucking say it. Don't waste all of our time. Ugh. Makes me so mad. At least he moved out. He's the one who left. Unlike some of these other men, if we can even call them that, like on the Valley and Vanderpump Rules. Ugh. So disgusted. Emily, I feel like Carl is naturally that way, slippery. Like he's always used to being or playing victim. And Dub, exactly. Emily, Lindsay is who she has portrayed herself to be this entire time. Agreed. That's what I'm saying. I actually have that in my notes at some point. I don't know where exactly what scene, but one of the things I said was Lindsay literally has never changed since season 1. Carl has been all over the place. How many different versions of Carl have we seen since the beginning of Summer House? How many versions of Lindsay Hubbard have we seen? 1. I don't see, she's been who she is this entire time. Carl's the one who changes. And I really, when they got together, I was like, no, I was so angry. I'm like, hell no. He is not good enough for Lindsay Hubbard. She needs a real man, blah, blah, blah. Because Carl was still in that, I saw him as a fuckboy from earlier seasons. And then when I saw them together, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe people can change. And then I started believing in love. And I'm like, wow, Carl really changed my mind. And then he wound up being an asshole. And now I'm scared of him. Why? Lindsay, I quote unquote, I locked myself in the guest room many times. Yeah, he emphasized many times. He just won't quit and they're already all on his side. Yeah, he has already gotten everyone on his side, so he doesn't even have to really try that hard. He's just adding more fuel to the fire. I locked myself in the guest room many times. Shut up, girl. Emily, yes, agreed with breakup sitch and then got locked into this victim decision and had to make the breakup happen. Weak sauce. Mm-hmm. Lindsay, yes, exactly. He wanted her to break up, so he was manipulating to try to trigger her so he could sit back and be like, whoa, you're so angry. Yep. They call that something. I think it's called like crazy making. I read about it once or twice or many times. And Dub said, Lindsay is just a more well-spoken version of Kristen from VPR, and I've always liked her too. They are who they are. Yeah, Kristen is messy as hell, but I still love her. I'm the problem. Am I the problem? Probably. Okay, let's go to the next scene. This is Cocaine Girl. Okay. So this scene starts out with Kyle saying that Lindsay is delusional and that she still hasn't even apologized for calling Carl Cocaine Carl. I was so annoyed with this. Kyle is the first person to out Carl's cocaine use to begin with. So much so that I still remember Bravo While Black, go follow them on Instagram, had a meme of people being so scared to show up to work without their laptop because they were scared Kyle would accuse them of being on cocaine. And if you don't remember that scene, Kyle went off. Of course, he was like belligerent drunk. And he's like, Carl didn't even bring his laptop to work because he was high on cocaine. Like, I remember that feeling of watching that scene and being like, what a shitty fucking friend. Not only is he a shitty friend, but he's a shitty boss. I would be so fucking pissed. That is so unprofessional to speak like that about your employees. And also, is Carl an employee or is he like a partner? I feel like Kyle has manipulated Carl too to be like, oh, we're in this together, even though it's Kyle's dream. And Carl's just like falling for it because he's a wussy pussy. So annoying. Emily said, but he totally called Carl out all the time. He did? Oh, yeah, he did. With the cocaine, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell? Why is he speaking so loud with his chest? He's saying this with his whole chest as if he hasn't said shit about Carl. This is fucked up. I think this is why I can't stand Kyle anymore. Like, why does he hate Lindsay Hubbard? It's crazy. All right, so the next extended clip, Lindsay does wind up apologizing for saying Cocaine Carl. However, in this extended clip, this was like one of the longer ones. This is where Lindsay says she has questions about what is considered sober and what is not. Is weed in the clear? A week before filming, Carl was on shrooms at a music festival. Her and Carl took a microdose. Sierra, Paige, and Amanda jump in during the scene to pile on Lindsay. Amanda brings up Lindsay venting to her about Carl in confidence. And I don't understand the purpose of that. Like, what was the reason for Amanda to bring up Lindsay venting about Carl? Like, I don't see anything that she did wrong there. Like, what is Amanda even trying to point out? It made no sense to me. But let me talk about the sobriety thing real quick. So the whole sobriety question, during the first year of Bravo and Blaze, we had a licensed substance abuse counselor as a guest to discuss James Kennedy's sobriety during season 9. This was when James had already quit alcohol for Raquel, and then she continued to nag him about smoking weed. At that time, I wanted to know from an expert, should James Kennedy stop smoking weed? Because I remember posting about this, and oh my gosh, it got so much activity. People were like, if he's an addict, he has to cut out everything, all substances. I'm like, who are you to say what a substance is for him? Is Tylenol a substance? Like, how far are we going? Sugar is addicting. Should he not have sugar? Guess what diabetes are? They're sugar addicts. They're the worst type of addicts because I think, well, let's not get into it because I don't have the statistics on me, but go look up how many people die every year from just illnesses related to obesity, which is usually caused from too much sugar, whether it's carbohydrates or simple sugars. That's just the truth. Facts, people. Look it up. It's science. But anyways, I wanted to know from this expert, should James quit smoking weed? The expert said, I'm just cutting to the chase, but I'm going to put the link in so you guys can go watch that interview. The expert said only James Kennedy can answer that question. And I love that. I actually wound up telling James Kennedy that story at BravoCon 2022. And when I told him that story, I saw that inner child that I see on the show with James. He just seemed like very touched by the story, even though at that time he started drinking again. This is before he quit when he was with Allie. I think BravoCon 2022, he had just started dating Allie. I don't even know if she was on the show yet. Anyways, go check out that interview with the licensed substance abuse counselor, G. Scott Graham. Also in this scene, I didn't love the feeling that Paige, Sierra, and Amanda tried to comfort Lindsay in this moment. The girl had nobody and they're all coming after her. It just felt so gross. They're always trying to take down Lindsay, and I don't understand. What did Lindsay ever do to any of them? Actually, I do want to know about this photo shoot sabotage. Paige, I don't know, Paige is saying that Lindsay tried to sabotage her photo shoot so much so that it crushed Paige where she couldn't even go to her birthday party. What I need to know about that is, how does one sabotage a photo shoot? And we need to know the details. You can't just say that. Oh man, this next scene, oh my gosh, they do a flashback of that last weekend in the Hamptons when they're both wearing those hats and they had that hug of horror where Carl was like, squeeze me harder, squeeze me. Oh my gosh, nightmares. Oh, in this scene, Andy mentions that Lindsay said, I have nothing left in the tank for Carl, to Danielle. What is the point of this extended scene? It feels like production is trying to make Lindsay look bad and it's not working at all. When I saw that, I'm like, and I don't blame her. He's been gaslighting her and manipulating this whole summer. Poor girl. If you've never been manipulated like that by someone or gaslit, I don't recommend it. It does actual brain damage to people to be emotionally abused like that. And it is emotional abuse to be manipulated and gaslit like that, especially in this environment. They were engaged, they were living together, shooting a show together, about to have a wedding. Ugh. Let me go to the chat. Let's see. N-Dub says, seems like an HR problem, outing someone's addiction. Yeah, for real. Does Loverboy have a HR department? Kyle wasn't lying when he said his emotional IQ is below average. Yeah, clearly. And definitely when he's drinking. Emily said, also, can we talk about the difference between actually sober and whatever Carl is doing? Because I'm all for it, but it's not sober. I agree. So I called myself California sober when I first quit drinking alcohol, which was over 2 years ago. But that doesn't mean I'm against some drugs that could be used medicinally, like psychedelics, ayahuasca, shrooms. What else? Some people are cool with LSD or acid or whatever. I don't Like, I think that's man-made. I don't really like the idea of man-made things, but yeah, there are actual studies and research that shows that people can help like recover from PTSD and trauma and things like that from doing psychedelics. So, yeah, I'm all for it, but it sounds like they were doing it recreationally because they said they did it at a music festival. So, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and I think it's okay if Carl just says, like, I'm not completely sober, but I don't drink alcohol. Is there something wrong with that? I say that. I just say I don't drink alcohol. I hate alcohol. Lindsay, speaking to Emily, yes, he can do whatever, but being so sanctimonious about sobriety is a bit much. I agree. I think Carl needs to figure out how to communicate his sobriety, quote unquote, sobriety journey. Because if you go back to the expert, the licensed substance abuse counselor, it sounds like he's saying it's really up to everyone's own discretion to decide if they need to stop using a substance. I know that I need to stop eating sugar because I can be a sugar addict. I could eat sweets all day, every day, but I know that it doesn't make me feel good. And I know that sugar is just bad for your body. So I try my best to moderate it. I don't completely quit because I don't hate myself. But I am very conscientious when I am eating sweets because I'm like, I know that I could eat this whole box of Girl Scout cookies right now if I really wanted to, but we don't want to do that. And Dub said, Amanda's trying to distract everyone. That's why they all try to cut her off. Yeah, Amanda's always trying to distract everyone so they're not looking at her fucked up marriage. The answer is yes, he really should abstain and go to professional counseling. I mean, I don't know what the answer is for Carl, but when your relationships, employment, or other significant opportunities are being impacted as a result of your inability to abstain, then yeah, maybe think about it a little deeper. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Lindsay, I have so many follow-up questions about the alleged photo shoot sabotage, right? That whole thing was weird. And why Carl is trying to like start this beef just felt so wussy pussy like. It was so unattractive. Emily says, when you're getting paid to talk about sobriety, etc., I hope you're wait, what? I hope you're more than clear on how you're handling life and things. The girls ganging up on Lindsay made me really sad. Gave me the ick. Yes. Yeah, if Carl is out here trying to advocate for sobriety or be a sponsor for people or whatever, I don't know what Carl's goals are, if he even has any that are outside of like taking care of himself, but I feel like if you're gonna be on your soapbox, you should probably be more prepared. Just saying. Lindsay said, tighter hug of horror. Oh my God, that was so gross. Tay Tay, the savior. In my opinion, Lindsay Hubbard makes herself look bad. I can see. I could see that. I'm not gonna say I disagree or that I agree. Like for me personally, I don't think Lindsay Hubbard looks bad the way she acts, but I can see how others take it as, oh, she's just awful. Like I get it. Because I think I have a lot of Lindsay Hubbard qualities when it comes to like when I know my boundaries or I am firm about something, then I'm going to communicate that. And if I have to talk louder, I'll just repeat it louder for any man who will not accept what I'm saying to them. I'm not saying that's like how Lindsay is, but I'm just giving a rundown on myself because narcissism is part of my brand, I guess. Fuzzy Puff. It does long-term damage. Yes, it does. Emotional abuse does long-term damage. Tons of therapy to get over that kind of manipulation. Yeah. It like changes the neural pathways in your brain. And it's extremely controlled with psychotherapy protocols. Nothing like these people have been portraying on Bravo. Talking about psychedelics, yes. I agree. And I do want to get somebody on the show. Oh, you know who I wanted to get on? The woman who did Adriana, the Miami girl, Adriana. I want to get her, who did the ketamine treatment, on the show to talk to her about what are the protocols in a controlled environment where it's considered safe. These are like controversial things that have been kind of trending lately. And hopefully you are not driving after that box of Girl Scout cookies. You should see my apathy. Wait, is that the right word? Is apathy lazy? Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Okay, Emily. Honestly, after all of this, I think Carl needs to define who Carl is. Yes. Loves, likes, sexuality. Yes. Sobriety, goals. We will love him for him when he decides who he is. Oh my gosh, Emily, yes. Yes, yes. That's what I've been saying. I really don't think Carl is in touch with himself. And I think that he may have some like deep rooted trauma or something from his past. Like he needs some more work on Carl, I think. What else? Fuzzy Puff. Yes, Boss B. And Dub. Same. I get a case of the hubs when I'm activated. Oh yeah, I can get activated real good. Fuzzy Puff. Jake Plummer, the former NFL player. Get him to talk about therapeutic shrooms. Okay. Apathy means you don't care. Yeah, that's kind of like lazy, right? I don't even remember how I used it now. Thank you, Lindsay. Fuzzy Puff, he's the real deal. Has a shroom farm in Colorado. Oh, this guy, Jake Plummer? To check him out. And Dub said, you should see my apathy. Oh my gosh. I hate myself. Okay, we still have 3 more scenes to go through. Like, who did this? Why did they put so many extended scenes in? And then with was it Vanderpump? What was it? There was an extended, or maybe it was the reunion part 1. There was like only 1 extended scene. Anyways, okay, let's go on to the next one. Lindsay explains why she felt blindsided, basically saying she thought she deserved more than an on-camera breakup. Lindsay mentions how Carl proposed to her making a lifelong commitment, and she thinks there is more that goes into breaking up with someone than the way he went about it on camera. Amanda in this clip, she mentions how, because Gabby speaks up, she's like, he shouldn't have done it on camera. I don't care what anyone says. That was dead wrong. Gabby is binary on this one. It's dead wrong, black and white. Hell no. But, excuse me. Amanda is like, yeah, well, shitty things have happened to me on camera by yours truly. And I was so confused in this scene. We'll get to it. But also, Andy asks if Carl and Lindsay fought all season to the rest of the cast. They're like, I guess they were fighting or not really talking, or Carl was with the guys or whatever. Okay, so here's my first point. I agree with Lindsay in that I don't think Carl was ever really trying to work on their relationship. We've already covered this. I think he was doing exactly what Lindsay said, which was set the stage for her to look like the monster, when in fact he was the one acting like a monster by not being direct or knowing what he even wants. Lindsay, I already said this before, Lindsay has never changed since season 1. How many versions of Carl have we seen? I think Carl has a lot of inner work he needs to do on himself before he's on reality TV or in a relationship. I don't think this is a healthy environment for Carl. And if his stepfather and mother truly cared about his best interests, they would call him out on his behavior and advise him to stay away from the cameras and work on himself first. Is his stepfather really a minister? I'm like really disappointed if he's like a man of God. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, and Amanda, what the fuck is she talking about? Doesn't yours truly mean you're talking about yourself? What is she talking about? Is she saying that she did a lot of embarrassing things to herself or shitty things to herself? Or is she talking about Kyle? And if that's the case, wouldn't Amanda have a little bit more empathy towards Lindsay in this situation? Like, if you know what it feels like, have a little compassion. It's kind of crazy to me. End up, agreed. Carl was banking that the rest of the group would pile on her too. Yeah, it's really gross. I hope Lindsay does not become friends with Carl again. I actually was disappointed that Lindsay became friends with him again after the first time they tried to date, when he like blatantly hit on the Barry's boot camp girl in front of her. God, what a POS. Ugh. End up said Amanda's gloating that it's not her this season. Yeah. For once, she hit it the best. That girl. All right, what's the next? Scene 11. Scene 11. Andy mentions Carl and Lindsay recording or filming Summer House together. Lindsay said, oh, no, sorry. I skipped ahead. This is a scene where Andy asked Carl and Lindsay about them recording each other when they were fighting. Lindsay said she did it for safety. Everyone like scoffs, like, oh. Lindsay then says she locks herself in the bathroom, and that's when Carl pulls a one-upper. He's like, I locked myself in the guest room many times. I wish Lindsay, instead of saying the word, I did it for safety, I wish she said protection or use the word evidence or proof, because I know what she's talking about. She does not feel safe communicating with Carl. And that's a real fear, to be communicating with someone where you're like, they promised you something. You both said to each other, looked in each other's eyes, and you both said, yes, I promise the sky is blue. And then later on, you're looking at each other in the eyes, and Lindsay's still saying the sky is blue, and Carl's looking at her saying, no, it's not. Like, that's the kind of feeling I get from the way that Carl is. And it's just scary to me. Those type of people are very, very dangerous, especially if you're somebody who has integrity. Like, hello. It's so gross to see people who are manipulative like that, who will do anything for their own best interests. It's gross and ugly. Tay the Savior said, did something violent happen between Carl and Lindsay? I don't know. I would like to know. Either way, like if Carl was attacked or if Lindsay was attacked, I want to know. Either way. And Dub said, Carl was totally one-upping Lindsay on everything. Yeah, he was. What did she? Oh, she said, you said some horrible things to me. He's like, you said horrible things to me too. Shut up, Carl. God. Lindsay, it's like when Lala called Sandoval dangerous and Lisa was so confused. Saying for safety confused the issue a bit, but I got what she meant. Yeah, I agree. And Dub said slanderous. Irene, Bravo is full of narcissist men. Do these people get mental evaluation before they start to be part of a show? I doubt it. They're like No, we don't want the mental evaluation. Actually, speaking of mental evaluations, I saw something where someone started a rumor that Monica Garcia from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was supposed to be on the Traders, but they wouldn't allow her to go on because she failed the psych evaluation. And then she like reposted that and was like, this is crazy. I feel like it is crazy because I feel like that's something she would have like made up herself and posted. Lindsay said, Irene, if they were evaluated, I doubt they'd cast the most emotionally healthy people. Agreed. And oh my God, I'm getting triggered. Jenny's face when she does the Carl one up. Lindsay, the Monica rumor was so silly. Oh my God, so funny. Okay. I'm going to go to the last extended and uncensored clip. Andy asks if Carl could be friends with Lindsay again. Carl says, never say never. Of course he would. Manipulative people say things like that. Never say never. Of course. What did she do to you? What did Lindsay do to Carl? Andy asks Lindsay, would you be friends with Carl? And the way she explained it was she's been reliving everything from the show since their breakup, and she really needs some space. And I agree. I feel like I would not be friends with him again. I really hope she doesn't. But what I got out of this is I think Lindsay could film Summer House this season completely unbothered by Carl, whether he's there or not. I don't think like he's a non-factor to her at this point. However, for Carl, I said this already, like I really don't think he should film. I don't think this reality TV environment is good for him. I don't think being in a house with his ex is a good environment for him. And I don't think all these people drinking around him and these like this mob mentality that'll ride or die for Carl in the situation, like I just don't think it's healthy for him. In my opinion. These are my opinions. That's my opinion. All right, what else? Lindsay's talking about Monica. It was clearly spam, but also believable. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I believe that. She probably didn't pass the psych evaluation. Tay the Savior said, no Monica on the Traders leaves a smile on my face. Same. Irene said, they should. You never know. You could be working with a serial cheater, liar, or worse. And Dub said, Carl, I need more space. Right. I'm surprised he didn't come back with that. No, I need more space. Emily, I hope it focuses on Paige, Craig with Kyle, Amanda, the Spritz lover boy drama, and Linz just gets to soar and chill. Yes. Let's manifest that for Summer House Season 9. Emily, and holding Kyle accountable for all of his stuff. I want someone to be like, what did you say about your wife? Did you call her a bitch? Did you say fuck you to your wife for saying that she wants something of her own? Like, that's insane. Emily, and I already read this one. Tay said, has Monica been investigated by the FBI? She needs to go to federal prison. State prison. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what's funny about the whole FBI situation with Jen Shaw and Monica? They were saying that like the FBI didn't want her to do these sting operations and stakeouts and surveillance. She was doing that stuff voluntarily. In fact, I think they said, don't do that. And she still went and did it. Yikes. So, okay. These are my takeaways of Summer House Season 8. I'll be honest, I checked out of Summer House during Scandal. So that was Summer House Season 7. I didn't even watch Lindsay and Carl get engaged. I saw like, People Magazine and, all that stuff. But I don't know. I find it to be hilarious every time they mention Tom Sandoval this season, because it's like such a tainted name. They're like, yeah, you're like Sandoval. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Also, I want to say I feel incredibly grateful and lucky that we got to see Carl and Lindsay's relationship so closely over the years. This is why I can't hate on anyone who goes on reality TV. The amount of shit we know about these people that we don't know them. It's absurd how much we know about them. I don't know if I could handle it if I was in their shoes, but I do think it's incredible that they get the opportunity to watch their lives over the last 8 years and learn from what they've gone through. And I think that's part of what I think is really cool about reality TV, and that's why I love it so much. And we all know this is not like, we don't see everything. It doesn't matter how they edit the show for us. We will never know everything that happens. So we have to take everything with a grain of salt. But that is part of the dynamics that I love about watching reality TV, because I want to know how much of this is real. Like this is a true reflection of these people that we're watching, and how much of it is production trying to manipulate us. Trying to pull one over on us. Yeah, we see you, Alex Baskin, producer Jerry. They're probably not even working on this show, but they're still on my show list. And Dub said Monica was an ambulance chaser. Lindsay, nobody thought the FBI wanted her doing her own thing. And Dub, nobody wanted to be like Sandoval. It really is like the name of shame. Shame. And Dub, now Captain Lee doesn't fuck with Carl. So cringe. Yeah, and I have to say, Captain Lee is problematic a bit in his own way. Excuse me. If like you were a proper HR person, you're like, okay, you can't say that. You can't say that about your employees on camera. But I still love him because feels very real. And the fact that he has spoken out about Carl and has corroborated what Lindsay has been saying about Carl that's concerning. I believe it even more now because of Captain Lee. So that's unfortunate. But before we go, I was talking about Ramy for days, like a week, probably longer than a week. I finally finished it. I think I hate Ramy. Like, not this show, but Ramy's character. And I don't know how much of this is true because Ramy is the writer and the main character. And this show, which has 3 seasons on Hulu, go check it out. I thought it was a great show for many reasons, even though I don't like Ramy's character in the end. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? At the end, I was so pissed. I'm still pissed. I'm pissed at Ramy. But I love this whole show because I love seeing a first-generation immigrant family. I love learning about other cultures. I've never really had a close friend who is Muslim, and I never really got to know how their culture is, not only, back in their original country, but here as an American, as an immigrant. And my mother's Korean. She's an immigrant. So it's interesting to see all the similarities between immigrants, no matter where you come from. I think I talked about it on a earlier live stream this week where there was a scene where Ramy's going to Egypt and he's got one suitcase ready to go with him. But then everyone, his friends, his cousins, his parents are like, they give him like 4 extra suitcases with random stuff to give to his family back in Egypt. Like Ben Gay was a big deal. And I just love that because when my mom goes to Korea, Every time she's like, I have to get vitamins. She stocks up on vitamins and brings them to Korea. And it's funny because when she comes back, I'm like, make sure you bring me socks, pajamas, and blankets. Those are, and obviously Korean skincare. Those are my top things that I need from Korea when she comes back. So I get it. And it wasn't just that one example. There's other things that are, there are a lot of parallels with immigrant families. And I just love that or that I know so much more about Islam now. Like, that is the reason why I watched Ramy. I wanted to learn more about Islam and more about American Muslims. And I got it from this show. And I didn't get a chance to, I should have done this, but I meant to go and look at all the awards it got because it also is like critically acclaimed and all this stuff. So love that. Highly recommend. Go check out Ramy. All right, I'm going to wrap things up before I go. What is it? NDub. I have no idea what this is. Just resubscribe to Hulu, adding to the list. Yo, when you watch it, DM me because there are so many crazy scenes in the show. I'm like, what is happening? I don't want to ruin it. I thought Jenny was Hispanic this entire time. And Tom, I love you. I get people say all sorts of things. I've heard I look Hawaiian. I've heard I look Hispanic. I look Asian. Somebody said, an Asian guy once told me I looked like Diane Lane. I'm like, she's full white. He goes, yeah, but you're like half white. I'm like, I'm half Asian. I do not look like Diane Lane. Crazy. Irene, Jenny, I agree. I'm watching this show. Yay, Irene. NDub Korean skincare. Yes, it's the best. Emily, love you, lady. Thanks for your takes and chatting with all of us. Oh, it's my pleasure. I love coming here. This is like the equivalent of James Kennedy doing a set at Live Fountain Blue in Vegas. That wasn't a good scratching noise, but before we go, I want to remind you all to please make sure to push the like button and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. If you are listening to the audio on your favorite podcast platform, please follow, share, and leave a 5-star rating for Bravo and Blaze. Don't forget you can find us on social media at Bravo and Blaze. Like I said, this is the last live stream of this 3-week live stream series. Let us know in the comments if you're liking the live stream series format. We will be on a break from the podcast starting tomorrow, so we can do some work behind the scenes and come back with all new content, interviews with guests, and more now that we have our new studio set up. Can't talk. It's hard to talk. So until then, stay late, y'all.